It's not about the size of the microphone, Wally. It's about how you use it.
It is. It's about what you blow into that microphone.
And now, Cheese Wits.
But I'm here.
That's a good thing. Are you feeling better?
I am at about, I want to say 55%.
Okay, that's not great, but I guess better than it was.
I'm eating applesauce and crackers.
Wow, that's good times.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, you know how I was telling you guys that I really don't eat fast food?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I don't think any of us eat. Are you eating an apple, Chris?
Crackers.
Uh-oh. Are you still feeling yucky?
Crackers and applesauce, my friend.
Oh, hello, brat.
Mm-hmm.
So today, I was really fucking hungry while I was out, and I was going to stop at the fast food. And at the McDonald's where it says, we're hiring for a lobby host or hostess.
What?
It's so fucking awesome. We're hiring a lobby host or hostess. I don't know.
Lobby host?
Yeah, I'm wondering what the fuck does a lobby host or hostess do at McDonald's? Yeah. Oh, monsieur, do you have a reservation for the Big Mac?
Wow, it's like most companies are downsizing and eliminating positions and having hiring freezes, and McDonald's is like, we need to create a new position.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't. What is that person going to do? Like, is there really going to be a seating, or are they just going around like wiping up? Like
they're probably corralling people to go to the automated machines to order their food. That's probably what they're doing.
Because have you ever sat? I have sat down at the McDonald's a few times with the youngsters, because there's a couple of McDonald's that have like the playground, the piss balls and stuff, the big pool of piss balls that the kids like to roll around in. And
sexy.
Yeah, well, those balls are always covered with like piss and snot and all kinds of crap. Kids, kids get Ebola after leaving the McDonald's playground, and so I mean, but what is the host going to do? Like walk around and clean tables, clean the whatever diaper shit someone has left at the table, so you don't put your elbow in it, and that's what people do there. They change their babies at the table, and that's what is going on. Anyways, I stopped in. If you guys have not stopped into a McDonald's or a Burger King lately, because I checked out both, it is not a discount. The fucking meal, a Whopper meal, $10 for a medium meal. I did not buy it. I'm not spending $10 on a hamburger.
It's not even a really good hamburger.
No, that's a bad hamburger.
That was $5.60 a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking $10. It was $9.99 or something, and that was the medium. And I said, no way. I cannot, because they have it's not great fries at the Burger King.
No,
they're not. They're not
has
the
better
best
fries. I don't love either of their fries, but McDonald's has better of the two.
Come the fuck on! Come on.
Well,
there were fat boy times that I would. Well, it was actually more recently than that, but I would go and get the chicken sandwich from Burger King, and then go over to McDonald's and get the sweet tea and fries.
Mm-hmm.
I must say it's hard to beat a Chick-fil-A sweet tea.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right, because you know what? Them absolute homo haters make a great iced tea.
I am
absolutely do.
Morally opposed to Chick-fil-A.
Well, I'm not saying they're fabulous.
Look,
I'm just saying
they make good food.
No, they don't. I'm morally opposed to Chick-fil-A. One, because of their stance on human beings, and two, because of their stance on pickles.
Pickles?
I don't believe.
When's the last time you saw a pickle that you... Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, Yahtzee.
I don't believe pickles should legally be allowed to touch other foods, and they marinate the fucking shit in pickles.
I'm... You know what? I like a pickle, mayonnaise, and peanut butter sandwich.
Whoa! Oh my God! I gotta go. I'm done.
Okay, you hold on. What's on the sandwich, Wally?
I use I like a peanut butter Miracle Whip, not mayonnaise, Miracle Whip and pickles.
Jesus,
and
are you
sometimes a slice of
pregnant?
cheese.
What in the fuck is that, Fat Elvis? Jesus Christ.
It's a good sandwich.
That's
Oh, yeah.
oh,
I mean, that's disgusting. I mean, and this comes from a guy who would fuck in a bed of kosher pickles. Okay?
So, well, anyways, I was flabbergasted by the cost of fast food. How the fuck? And the line is always packed.
yeah.
Those places are packed. They are making bank because the food's no better. They haven't changed the recipe. It's still the same. The secret recipe is not a big secret.
How can
It's
there be a
shit.
secret recipe for flame broiling a piece of substandard meat?
Well, the secret is how to actually make it edible.
Well, it's the grade A
Oh, have they
government
done
beef.
that?
Right.
That would be different.
That's
No,
the secret.
If you have to put ketchup on your burger, the meat's not good.
Well, you know.
But you can put 84 pickles on it, and it would be fine. I'm okay with any amount of pickles. I just don't want ketchup on my meat. It's like putting A1 on something at Ruth's Chris.
For some places, the special sauce is the real thing.
I got some special sauce for you right here.
I know you do. I know you do. Yeah, I was completely blown away by the cost at those places of just crazy. It's crazy expensive. I can honestly say now you can buy a pound of Hamburg, which is what, like on sale it's like $4.99, $5.49 for 80. And
Is it
and
right
some
now?
bread and frozen fries. You can spend just about the same and feed 4 people for what one of those fucking big boy Happy Meals cost.
Big
And
Boy
not so
Happy
healthy.
Meal. Where
It's
the
not-
fuck are you at the Big Boy?
It's
The Big
no.
Boy? Is the Shoney Bear coming out next? What the fuck are you talking about?
Wait.
The Big Boy.
Speaking of the Big Boy,
Yeah.
at my grocery store they have the frozen Abdal's Big Boy hamburgers now.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know Big
I've
Boy
seen
even
'em.
existed. Have you
It's in
seen them?
California. Yeah, California.
They have them here in Maine too.
They actually have Big Boy
Abdal's Big Boy.
restaurants.
No, there's none here. They just have the frozen burger.
Okay, well, yeah, they got the restaurant still in California.
Yeah,
But
well,
we've got we got the hamburgers here.
they still got the Paul Newman lemonade and family recipe, and he's been dead. So I don't think it has to be in
That
your
is true.
to have it. I think they just
I
get,
walked into the ShopRite and they had Sabarette New York hot dogs. I'm like, I've
oh yeah,
never
we have those
seen
here.
those outside of a stand.
At the
Never seen them outside of a push cart.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
at the Publix near me, I saw Ithaca hummus that's made in my hometown of Ithaca, New York.
Hey, isn't Orangina made? Didn't Orangina start? Or no, not Orangina. What's that other drink?
Orangina, you fancy as fuck.
Oh man, I like Orangina, you guys.
Oh my, fancy man.
I like some Orangina. Do you know what you know what Orangina is, Jess?
I don't think
We used to
is it
hand
like
that shit
Tang?
out. No, it's like it's spritzy water with orange juice in it.
Oh. No, I don't think that was a thing for me ever.
I thought that I for some reason that was pretty big in Ithaca for a while because we used to hand that shit out. We used to get cases of it.
It might have been, but if it was,
And Snapple was big too.
my father was the cheapest man on the planet. We got basic things, and that's it. We got store brand sodas. If we got sodas at all. Like, my father was very cheap.
Have you met my wife?
I grew up the same way. I mean, I'd go to the kitchen, I'd want something to drink. I'm like, what should I have? Oh, let me have a can of cola.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all it said on the label was just
White can, black letters, cola.
cola.
Yep.
I used to drink that kind of beer in college. White can, black letters said beer.
Beer. Uh-huh.
I'm not even kidding. That's what you used
Oh,
to
I
buy.
believe it.
And I think it was $3.99 a case.
That sounds
That's
like
good shit.
what we drank in college was the Beast, Milwaukee's Best.
Oh,
I think that has to be the only. Do they even still make that? That has to be the only demographic that drank that beer was
Oh,
college
I think
kids.
it's still there, and we
Yeah,
were
they still make it.
drinking it.
And
We were doing Ice House.
Wait, Chris, you're so quiet. It was what now?
We were doing Ice House.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in college we were all Ice House, and occasionally Zima if we wanted to feel fancy.
Zima. You high class motherfuckers.
That I was.
Zima. Well, Zima ruined it. Zima ruined a lot of stuff because Zima introduced the 4-pack. They cut down raised the price of those fucks. So then everybody started selling a 4-pack. I used to buy a 6-pack of wine coolers. And I mean, it wasn't the best shit, but for $2.99, you could throw a buzz on if you drank a whole 6-pack.
Some Bartles and James.
You got it right. You got it right, Bartles and James. But that stuff was so cutting edge, right, back then?
Yeah.
It absolutely was.
Yeah.
It was. And Zima was a huge club drink.
Yep.
It was everybody wanted a Zima at the club. First, I don't know how that shit, and it tasted like shit.
It was terrible.
It was fucking hard. I don't know where. I don't even know where that's gone anymore. I'm sure they don't make that anymore.
I don't think so. I don't know. We went through this period of time right around then, the late 80s, early 90s, where everything for some reason had to be clear. Remember Crystal Pepsi? Remember
the failure of all time.
Remember clear, like they were making deodorant that was clear?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everything was clear, and Zima was just part of that.
Well, that's coming back, though, that clear thing now, because now I see a lot of products that have their free and clear, unscented, no dyes, no coloring.
Yeah, but it's not actually like clear, like you can see through it clear.
No, yeah, this stuff is.
Oh.
Yeah. Like we have some products, some store brands called Open Nature. Free and clear. No scent, no anything. It's just clear. Laundry detergent.
I mean, I get laundry detergent that's, I think it's Arm & Hammer free and clear, but it's not. Yeah. I don't think maybe it is. I guess I don't look that closely at my laundry detergent. Maybe it's clear. I don't know.
No, I think that's a selling point for some brands, the free and clear kind of thing.
Man.
It's like you're almost free and clear. You're almost see through.
Yeah, I am.
You are.
We will fall for almost any kind of marketing, won't we?
You need a little sun. Are you guys getting any sun?
Yeah, there's some, and then it goes away, and
it's freezing like fuck here.
We get
like crazy.
We get sun, and then it's crazy cold, and then when it warms up, the rain comes because of the warm front, cold front, whatever it is.
The front.
The weather front.
The front.
The upfront.
Here you go, buddy. And my dog. My dog's in here today.
I see him.
Oh, Henry. Come on. There you go. This is the one with the diabetes.
Aww.
He has the diabetes.
Hi, good boy.
He's a good guy. All right, buddy, go ahead. Go get the cat. He bites the cat. He grabs the cat right by the head.
That's what you were saying.
Doesn't do anything, and she'll swat him. She gives him a good smack. All right, Henry, get out of here.
So, Wally, didn't you say when we were talking about the ratings and reviews that you were going to ask Jody to do a review?
Yeah, she said she did. She said both of her friends. Well, I know one of her friends said she reviewed.
Oh,
on the Apple.
One of my friends said that as well, but still, we only have. And another one said she was going to. We still only have 3 reviews and 10 ratings. And actually, when I was looking at the ratings on my other computer, it only showed 9 ratings. But I was like, how did we lose a rating? But we're back up to 10 now.
Maybe they're sabotage. Maybe one of those big, high-powered, like JB Smoove or somebody is messing.
You think Smartless took our ratings away?
Of those.
You think Jason Bateman's threatened by us?
Smartless or Jason Bateman is fucking with us, probably, or JB Smoove is fucking with us, or maybe it's one of those. Maybe it's Say You. Maybe they're getting us.
Maybe
the Kitchen Sisters. They might be pissed off. Who knows?
Wow, look at you.
There's a lot of those.
I think it's the Will Ferrell podcast. I think they're fucking with us.
That makes sense.
You think have you listened to that at all?
It is absolutely a fucking train wreck.
In a good way or a bad way?
Oh, it's fucking terrible. It's him trying to go, I'm Ron Burgundy.
No.
Fuck that. No. Awful.
That's a shame.
Yeah, see, so that's what I think about a lot of podcasts that are that rely upon or are embedded in celebrityism. They're banking on either their celebrity or their availability to celebrity guests. What is called a celebrity, right? Mm-hmm. What people perceive, the People magazine crowd, and I think that they're banking on that. And I'm not sure the substance. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't listened to this. I haven't listened to Smartless, but I hear that's pretty good.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite. They make me laugh, and it's not even my favorite part. Like they interview celebrities, and that's interesting. That's fine. But my favorite part is actually just when the three of them are giving each other shit, which is actually how I came up with the idea for us to do a podcast. This is
knowing it. What two assholes do I know that I can just slam on?
Exactly.
Well, it's like a poetry slam. Just beat the shit out of us. Yeah, well, that's what I like too, and that I like. I don't like the whole. So I think last week when we were talking about my desire or my not that I hate technology, but that I like this chat. I like talking. Mm-hmm. I like tactile. I like touching the paper and all that, and I think that's what is good. That's the good part of what we're doing, at least. And it's probably the good part of what Smartless is doing and other podcasts that do it. It's the part that you just flow. You just go. Mm. You don't try to, bank on somebody's character funniness because, like Chris, you were just saying that Will Ferrell playing on, trying to use Ron Burgundy as a stepping stone or as
right.
as his muse. You just can't do that.
Yeah,
I don't think.
And I mean, that thing's over. That movie's over. The franchise is over. Why are you trying to? Carol O'Connor. He went on to be the in the heat of the night, sitting there going, Edith, for fucking 20 years. You move on. You take the character.
He went from one bigot to another bigot.
Right.
That was the best part. Yeah, I've been kind of incognitus here, Edith. And then going to the other show, and it's sitting there. Well, boys ain't from around here, are you? I mean, literally went from one to the other.
In the real world, though, that original movie is fucking awesome. They call me.
Oh, absolutely.
Mr. Tip. Oh, what a fucking movie that is. That is such a good movie. All the actors in that movie are fabulous. Fabulous, I say. Oh, did you guys watch look at me, I'm full of all kinds of shit today. Did you happen to watch the Golden Globes?
Mm-mm. Nope.
So, I don't know who there's this runway person.
A model? A pilot?
I don't know what. No. She does the interviews. I forget her name. She used to be, I think, on Orange Is the New Black. She was transgender. She transitioned. I forget her.
Laverne Cox.
Laverne, yeah. What's her name?
Laverne Cox.
What a fucking name.
Well, I got to tell you. I had no idea that really who I had to look it up because I'm saying, boy, that girl kind of looks like a guy. And then I figured it was. But then I started wondering, last week I was watching Dolly. I saw Dolly Parton and Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus. And I started thinking to myself, which one of those two women, Dolly or Laverne Cox, has had more surgery to look the way they look?
Well, and that's the thing. If you look at Dolly Parton, you're like, look, okay, she's old. She's had some work done, but the old dad joke, you know why you can't fuck Dolly Parton, right?
Why is that?
Because parts of her are under 18.
Jesus Christ.
See, I look at Dolly Parton, I think she's like a bag of chips. Like the outside of the bag looks great, but inside that shit's all broken. It's just nothing but crumbs.
Don't you blaspheme Dolly Parton
Look,
on her
I love
own
Dolly Parton.
internet.
Dolly Parton.
Not on Dolly's internet, you don't.
Hey,
Yes.
I'm
Look
going
at
to say
this.
something. She's right. She's putting up dukes, but there's something I'm going to say, and this is maybe popular, maybe unpopular. I don't know. I don't really give a fuck.
No, you don't.
But with Betty White being dead, Dolly Parton is the next national treasure.
Yeah, she is.
Okay, Betty White was the national treasure. She's gone. Dolly is the living national treasure.
What about Cher?
Fuck Cher sideways.
Cher's fucking ancient.
Cher's
Jane
not as.
Fonda, she's ancient.
Yeah, but you know what?
All them old broads.
Dolly Parton is the busiest woman in show business still
She is busy.
to this day.
She is busy. But what I wanted to say about you getting all sanctimonious, Jess, was I noticed you didn't get all sanctimonious about Dolly until after you laughed. First you laughed, and then you said, wait a second.
Because you cannot blaspheme Dolly
I know.
Parton on her own internet.
Her own. What are you?
Dolly,
On her what?
do not.
She created the internet?
Dolly Parton's
wait a minute.
internet now. It's
Dolly
hers.
is Al Gore?
She probably bought it from Al Gore.
Oh, maybe she was helping them.
Maybe.
She's been around since the dawn of time.
You know, she funded the Moderna vaccine, right?
Is that for real?
That's for real. She
really
donated
did?
$1 million to Vanderbilt University here in Nashville, where they were making the Moderna vaccine. She funded that research.
Did she take she went in and she said, I'll do the testing. Go ahead. Jab me. Put it in me. See what happens.
I don't know if she was the guinea pig, but I know that she did get that shot.
Well, you know what? I'm going to give you that she's still a smart looking woman at 76. But she is a bag of bones.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. She's I don't know how they do it. All these old motherfuckers that look good.
Well, because she's got money.
Money is helpful, isn't it?
Sure is.
I'd still do inappropriate things.
Would you? Would
To
you?
Dolly?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What do you think? You think her breasts are so firm?
Well, they're not real.
So you think that
And that was the Dolly Parton.
they're like a Bob Seger song, like a rock?
The Dolly Parton internet police hung up on me.
The Dolly Parton internet police.
Yeah, did you not see it hang up?
No.
Oh yeah, I went away for a minute.
Well, that shows how much you're contributing tonight.
Right?
God damn it.
Holy God! So it sounds like, Chris, you're feeling better.
No, this is a Sir Laurence Olivier performance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel like fuck.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I mean, I can't bowl. I can't, go and eat dinner. I'm fucking wasting away. This is not fun.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a lot of fun.
No, you do sound a lot better. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm trying to just project. I mean, this is taking everything out of me. But hey, it's nothing that a nice bottle of, what do we have here sitting here? Electrolyte won't take care of.
Electrolyte.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what they sell down here, Electrolyte. I guess it's a version of Pedialyte.
Is that the store brand?
It came from the 7-11. Who the fuck knows?
Oh, yeah. You know what? We don't have very many 7-Elevens here.
They just started building them here. In fact, there was a I don't know, Exxon or something around the corner. I don't remember what it was because it's been a couple of years now, but they turned it, 7-Eleven bought it and flipped it.
Now we're getting Southern stuff here. We're getting Circle K, and
We've got Circle K here.
we got Raising Cane's.
We've got that here.
What's Raising Cane's? What's that?
Chicken.
Chicken joint.
Yep.
Is that Herman Cain, Raising Cain? Is that him? The guy who died, who ran for president?
No, different Cain. C-A-N-E.
Different. Oh, okay. God damn, I got a lot of phlegm.
I'm just waiting for the Wegmans to come down this way.
Wegmans is a good store.
That Frederick, man, I could live there.
I was
Wegmans
there
is good.
when they opened that one in Frederick, and I was more excited, I think, than anybody there because I was the only one who knew what they were about to get.
Yeah, well, we have what is the one we have here? We have the Demoulas, but it's not Demoulas. It's called something else. Market Basket. They're fucking huge stores. They're huge grocery stores. They have everything. They're fully stocked and fully staffed. It's not like going into a Shaw's or a Hannaford or a Star Market. These places have it all. And you go to the deli and there's 4 fucking people working, not one teenager with bad skin who doesn't want to deal with you. Not that there's anything wrong with bad skin or teenagers with bad skin, but just they're just understaffed because they don't pay people enough money, so they can't get decent quality people and yada yada yada. No, look at getting my tea.
Wow. You got people.
I got people.
Hi, Jody.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
I got people. Speaking of Jody. No, you can walk away. So I was using a bathroom today in the Hannaford. When do people have time? And why do people still write graffiti on bathroom doors? What the fuck is going on?
I'm assuming it's teenagers, is it not? Teenagers and younger?
There's a lot of in the boys' bathroom. I don't know if the girls' bathroom, but in the boys' bathroom, there's a lot of suck cock going on. A lot of pictures of penises carved into metal doors and things. I don't understand it.
I can't imagine adults are doing that. I'm probably wrong because people.
Oh, it's probably some employee who's got pissed off and got yelled at, and he said, you got to do the job. You can't come in 30 minutes late. Fuck you, suck cock. They're writing on it. But I noticed, this isn't really true, but it could be true, that I saw it say, for a good time, call, and it was my wife's cell phone number.
Nuh-uh.
In our bathroom at home. I don't know what's going. So I'm thinking I might not be doing the job these days.
Wow.
I gotta pick up my game.
As a business owner, I tell you about these. I'm going to use a Morgan Freeman term. Okay. And this is from the movie where he was the principal at the high school. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
These miscreants come in.
Miscreants. That is a Morgan Freeman word.
Great word. I use that word.
These miscreants come in, and we've just painted the bathroom, and I guess it's not to their liking, so it has to say "suck twat" on it now. Okay. And we go in and we'll repaint it the next week, and the following week it will say Chlamydia Jones or something like that. So,
do you think we can get any of those people on the podcast?
Chlamydia Jones is actually guest hosting next week.
Okay, good, because we have questions.
We have questions?
We have questions for Chlamydia Jones about why their
I have no questions. You may have questions.
Their name, like why they have so much time to be graffitiing bathroom stalls.
I don't understand. I thought that was like a high school thing to do.
Yeah.
Think.
I don't understand.
Like, and how do so many people have Sharpies on them in the bathroom?
Sharpies or pocket knives or something. They're scratching with I don't know what they're doing. The other thing I've discovered too on while looking at this graffiti, motherfuckers don't know how to spell.
No. They sure don't.
If you're gonna say, fuck that bitch whore, spell whore correctly. Would you at least, when you're writing, Debbie is a whore, fucking write whore correctly. It's a WHORE.
Look, I got suck twat sitting there, and twat is spelled QLZL. So I understand.
Oh, I didn't realize I spelled it that wrong.
Well,
I don't get it. I really don't. I don't understand. People, you know, my wife says this. Jess, you say this sometimes too, and you hear people say that's why we can't have nice stuff, right? That's why we can't have nice shit. But it's true. People are cocksuckers,
and they ruin it for everybody else.
They do.
they are cocksuckers. QZKN FTEL Chew, the Batman symbol, and the number 3. Cocksuckers. That's how you spell it.
There it is, right
And the
there.
winner of the spelling bee is
Yeah, but
You know,
they ruin shit for us.
They totally do. They ruin also. Let's go to spelling for a second. So I was in a spelling bee
me too.
in fifth grade.
Yeah.
Okay, and I was really, really good. And I passed the school level. I passed the city level. They send me to the county level.
Ooh.
I'm like, all right. And the spelling bee was taking part in the old Montgomery County Board of Education area where they had the meetings. And my mother was there and my father was there. I'm there and I go to the first word and the word is gruel. And I'm like, gruel? God, I don't know. Could you use it in a sentence? The old woman in the shoe fed the stepchildren gruel. I go, that didn't fucking help. Huh. So I misspelled it. Okay. And I spelled it Grool. I now know it's Gruel. I'll never forget it as long as I live. But Grool. The room is silent, and before the buzzer goes off, you just hear my mother go, shit. Yeah. You ever wonder why I'm fucked in the head? That's chapter 37. Right?
Well,
that's fucking beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, I was a good speller. I was good in school. I was good at spelling. I was really good at history and that kind of shit. I was horrible at fucking geography. I hated geography because I didn't like Mrs. Zuckerman. That was our geography teacher who
Mrs. Zuckerman?
Yeah, her name was Mrs. Zuckerman. She was old as fucking dirt. She retired the year after I had her in the 7th grade. And she one time made me put Big Red gum. I was chewing gum in class. And Big Red was really big gum at that time. It had just come out and, it's cinnamon gum. It's called Big Red. Whoa.
so
She
excited.
made me put it on my nose, and it burnt the skin off my nose. I had a
Jesus
big red
Christ.
Wow.
Yeah, that bitch. Oh,
Corporal punishment.
and she made. Oh, I remember corporal punishment in school, and I'm
Oh,
not
me too.
bringing
They
it
weren't allowed
back.
to do it, but they did it.
Fucking bring it back. I don't. I got hit a couple times. One time when I was in the, I think I was in the 3rd grade. No, 2nd grade maybe. And there was this kid in the playground, and he was jabbing people with a pin, like just a little a pin with a little that you use for sewing to tack stuff with a little thing on the end,
Little
not a
straight
sewing
pin.
needle, but a pin, a straight pin. There you
straight
go.
pin.
And he was jabbing people out on the playground with it. And so we all got in the line to go in to into school, and someone told on him. You know, I don't remember his name. Michael was picking us with a pin. And the teacher, whose name I do remember, Mrs. Hanley, said, Michael, were you picking people with a pin? Yes, Mrs. Hanley. Where is the pin? He gives her the pin. How many people did you pick? Like 6 kids raised their hand. She stabbed him 6 times with the pin.
Oh my God.
Right in the arm. Bing, 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 bing.
Wow.
He never stabbed anybody again. At least with a pin. I don't know what he did later on as he grew up.
Try that
was-
today, and the rest of those kids would have that shit up on TikTok before she hit number 6.
And I'd laugh my ass off.
Yeah, but she would lose her job.
Oh yeah, she'd lose her job too. But I remember the girl sat in front of me. I used to pull her hair. She had big pigtail, and I'd pull her hair. Again, I'm 2nd, 3rd grade. This might have been. I'd pull her hair, and she'd cut it out, Wally, cut it out. and I have a piece of this hand right here. You really can't see it, but there's a brown. Maybe you can. Right here, right there. That's a piece of pencil lead. She turned around and stabbed me with her pencil. The lead is still in my hand. That wasn't enough, though. Teacher came by with the ruler, the one with the metal strip in it.
Oh, yeah.
Hit me, turned the ruler with metal strip side and smacked me on the wrist with it and cut me.
Wow. They didn't do any of that stuff in my school.
But here's the thing now. I was living in foster home then. No parents got mad. They said, "You're not the parent my parents said my father. You got what you deserved." And you know what? They were right. I did get what I deserved.
That's exactly right. My mother wrote a note to my second grade teacher because I was doing something in class, and the teacher wrote a note back. And my mom writes a note back and says, "Well, that's okay. And if you feel the need to hit Christopher, you can."
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I hear you say that, I'm like, why not? It wasn't any. I think you have. I don't know. I don't think you should be beating kids. But as I hear it, I'm not opposed to it. I'm not thinking it's a horrible thing. I'm not. I personally never hit my kids. Well, that's not true. Hit each one of my kids once. My son, he was 6 years old. We were playing on the bed, and he bit me right on the inside of the thigh.
Wow.
And it fucking hurt. And I reached out and went whack to get him off me. And I felt like horrible. It's the only time I ever hit him. And then my daughter, she was maybe 3 years old, maybe 2 years old. And she was on the floor licking an outlet.
Oh.
Because my son told her to be like a dog. And he said, "Oh, yeah, lick that." And I went over and I gave her a swat on the butt. She was, didn't hurt her. It was just a swat. I can't believe it. And that's the only ever time I ever hit my kids. But had the teacher grabbed a kid by the arm and said, "Hey, your kid was doing this," when the kid complained, I'd say, "Don't do it."
See, now it was a sport for my mother. She'd hit us and dare us to cry. And, her famous thing was saying, "If you make another move, I will knock you into the next fucking zip code."
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So the foster home, I'll give you guys just a little insight. I won't give all the shit away. But so the foster home I grew up in, I spent most of my time in, and where I was adopted. One of the things they used to do, I ran away several times when I was between 10 and 12. They used to chain me to the bed with a chain,
Jesus,
and a padlock. And then they used to make this thing a cat o' nine tail. Basically, it's a leather belt that you cut into strips, and you hit people with it, and it cuts them open. And yeah, so that was and I can give you fucking unbelievable stories. Which, listen, this isn't what this is for. A lot of therapy. I look at that shit now and I laugh at it, and there's a lot of shit went on. I'm just like, who the fuck does that to a kid? It's a horrible thing.
Shit.
It is a horrible thing. My dad used to use a belt on me, and I remember one time when I started staying home by myself after school when I was like 8 or something, like way too young to be home by myself. And I had stood on the kitchen counter to get the Halloween candy off of the top of the cabinet. And when my father found out, he asked me how I got the candy, and I said I climbed up on the counter. He beat the bottom of my feet with a belt.
Yep.
And that's just one of many, many, many ways that I was beaten by him. My mother, when I was older, would beat me with wooden spoons and would break them on me. Yeah. And it finally stopped. I think she actually used a belt on me when I was 12 or 13. She's gonna be so pissed off at me for telling the story. I was 12 or 13, and I don't even remember what I did that she decided she needed to beat me. And I decided I wasn't going to cry. And she decided I fucking was. And
not good.
she said she was going to keep going until I cried. And I have always been stubborn my entire life. And I didn't say fuck you, but in my head was fuck you. And she kept going and going and going until she broke me. Well, what happened was, as she's getting angrier and angrier, her swings are getting wider and wider. And I ended up with welts all over my back, which one of my classmates then saw when we were getting changed for gym. And they reported it. And Child Protective Services was called. And we were taken away from her. My stepfather wasn't allowed to see his kids for a while there was all kinds of investigations happening. And if you asked my mother today, she would tell you that she had done nothing wrong and it was my doing that Child Protective Services was there. It was my fault.
That's the way who people abuse kids are. So I got into foster care because I guess I was probably 3 years old. My brother was 2. One night in a drunken rage, my sperm and egg donors decided that my brother had shit himself. He was 2. And they put him in a sink and poured very hot water over him. His skin came off his body. Off his back and his rear end and stuff. So the police took us away. They ended up in jail, blah, 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 blah. Ended up in foster care. Foster care was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
One of the punishments I used to get was kneeling on unpopped popcorn. So they'd put unpopped popcorn on the floor.
Jesus.
And you'd kneel on it. And you had to have your hands above your head. There's just... And then there was all kinds of other stuff too. The stuff you can imagine that people go to jail for.
Yeah.
That went on as well. It was a bizarro, but all that being said, it's the reason why I never hit my kids. Mm-hmm. It's part of the reason why I was afraid to have children.
It's probably the reason I never had kids.
I was very afraid to have children because I just was worried that I would be an abusive fuck. Turns out I'm not an abusive fuck.
No.
But I mean, that shit gets in your head. And you know when my mother stopped hitting me?
When you hit her
When
back.
you were 30?
I'll let you know when. I'll let you know.
I was going to say, this conversation turned into a big bummer, and we need to go back to talking about Chris's mom dragging him all over the house, talking about his penis.
But you know what? I bet there's people that have those stories.
You're going to have to go to Dave Steele and say, a very special episode of Cheese Wits.
No, I bet you there's lots of people that have those stories and also deal with it with humor.
Yeah.
Oh, but you have to. If you don't, you're going to kill yourself.
That's probably why we all became funny.
You know.
Well, if I'm at all funny, I hope I am a little bit. No, I think so.
A little bit.
I think, seriously, if I was to bring a psychiatrist into this or a psychologist or one of them cocksuckers who paid too much money, whatever job they have, they would tell us, because of these issues in our lives, this is why we've chosen to hide behind a microphone.
Absolutely. My therapist,
yeah,
the reason I think that I have the job that I have is because I tried it. People told me, the people that I was working for at the time told me I was good at it. And it was the first time I was getting this praise without any anger or repercussion. It was just praise. It was just, oh my God, you're really good at this. I don't know if that's a direct quote. It probably was. It was a long time ago.
You think they said God? Oh my God. You think really?
I believe that was a quote from you. Wally was like, oh my God. You're so good at this. Let me hire you away from the station where I met you to the other station.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jess. I think because the microphone is definitely a security blanket.
Yeah.
It's definitely, it creates a distance between an audience when you're on the radio and you. And it's such a, it's even though I don't know how big your microphone is. I know your microphone is bigger than mine, Jess. But this microphone is about, I don't know, 7 inches, 8 inches.
Are we talking about her member or her microphone?
It's not about the size of the microphone, Wally. It's about how you use it.
It is. It's about what you blow into that microphone.
Well, unless you're like me and you're trying to cover it up, because I've got the Corvette of microphones. I've got the Shure SM5B. Wally, if you know what that is, that's the one that is the huge one that looks like a really big Tylenol in gray.
It's better than the almost every AM station I ever worked at had the Sennheiser
421. I love that thing.
The Sennheiser 421.
I love it.
I'm using an RE20.
I was going to say, I think the RE20 was pretty much in almost every studio I've been in.
I'm using an RE20. And my favorite headphones, well, other than AKGs, other than these 240s, I love a pair of what are they, Pro 4As. They're
the ones that the gel leaks out of.
They're fucking heavy, big green sort of oval, and you could kill somebody with them.
Oh,
they're just, they weigh your head down. It's like you become a bobblehead if you don't have a strong neck muscle. You're not holding your head up on those fuckers. No. So my point, the microphone definitely, however big, it is such a huge cushion.
yeah.
And I think lots of people who work in radio experience the same stuff, and lots of people who use a microphone for their job, not television people.
No. But it's funny how many radio people I know, including myself, who are actually shy.
Oh yeah, I'm for the most part pretty shy.
Me too. And people think I'm joking when I say that because I don't seem shy on the air or here when I'm talking to you guys, but I absolutely am.
The only the only time I'm not shy, and Chris, I bet this is true for you too, is if it's part of the job.
Right.
So when Chris, you're working at the bowling alley, you're probably not shy when you have to deal with shit. But are you initiating stuff, or do you wait till it comes to you and then you become part of it because you have to?
It depends on what the day is. It depends on whatever happens to come up. You know,
Right.
I mean, sometimes I jump in the middle of stuff. Sometimes I, stay in the background. But I turn on. The show goes on. The
Same
show
here.
turns on.
Yeah.
Yeah, same
When
here.
I've got to do something. Hey, you need size 6 shoes? I'm happy to take care of you. $3.99.
Yeah. And always with a little joke or a little laugh in my voice or something. One of the things that for Jody and I, one of the reasons we didn't go out a lot, Jody, because I would make Jody very uncomfortable, because when we would get out, my shyness, people expected me not to be shy, so then you turn your on switch on, and you become that guy or that person that they know who's, the quip master on the radio. So you have to become that guy, because back in the day, you were recognized when you went out.
Oh my God.
People knew who you were when you went out.
When
So
I
you
was
had to
in-
always be on.
When I was in Frederick, Maryland, that was really the only time I can say in my career that I was full on a celebrity. And, that's, I guess in a town like Frederick.
You and I had a 26 share. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I remember there was one day that I went to the grocery store after work, and I was so sick. All I was trying to do was get some cold medicine and go home. And I'm keeping my eyes down. I'm not making eye contact with anybody. I'm just trying to get to the part of the grocery store that I need to and get the hell out. And all of a sudden I hear, oh my God, Jess? Is that Jess Wright? Oh my God. I can't believe I'm meeting Jess Wright at the Giant Eagle. And I don't want to be nice to you right now. I just don't.
Right.
I don't feel good. And I had to.
And Jess just raises her head and says, I just want some dress.
I just didn't want. So probably the best thing to ever happen to me is to move to a town like Nashville, where I cannot get famous enough for anybody to give a fuck, because there are
Right.
legit celebrities here.
Yeah. I like at one point when I was working in upstate New York, I one time was driving an Alfa Romeo. I had this great Alfa Romeo. It was not a expensive Alfa, but it was an Alfa Romeo, and you could fly because those fuckers corner great. It was an Alfa Romeo Milano, and it cornered like crazy. So I was doing about 130 miles an hour on a back road. Doesn't matter. Those fucking things corner so well that you can drive a snake road. So I'm doing about 130. Up behind me comes at 135 blue lights. Pulls me over, comes up to the door. Wally, what are you doing? Well, I'm late. Yeah, well, get there, but stop speeding. And that was it. Had I been Wally not on the radio, I would have been in cuffs.
There was a guy, Chris, I don't know if you remember this. There was an artist. I'm not gonna say his name now because he probably.
Yeah, we do a lot of not saying their names, but then say their names.
Well, and he's not like, he didn't become a big star or anything, but there was this festival. There still is this festival in Frederick called In the Street, and our radio station had a stage at this festival every year. And we would have 3 artists that would play, and then we would take all of the artists out to dinner afterwards, and it was just a fun day. And this artist had parked his bus the wrong way on a one-way street because that was how they needed to do it. I don't know. The streets were all blocked off. It didn't matter. We had gotten permission from the police chief to do that. And so the end of the festival comes, we take all the artists up to this bar, and we're having dinner and drinks, and the artist himself had already decided to go back to the tour bus, but a bunch of the guys in the band decided later that they wanted to go back. And so I piled them all up in my Trailblazer, and I drove them down to where their bus was, and there is a police car with lights flashing parked like diagonally in front of their bus. And so I park across the street, and the guys in the band jump out of my car, and as I'm finishing parking, I get out of the car and I walk across the street. And I'm assuming that this is just because the bus is parked facing the wrong direction, and at this point the streets have reopened. And so by the time I get around my car, I see that all of the guys who have just gotten out of my truck are sitting against a wall next to each other and next to the artist. And I walk up to the cop and I say, is this because of their bus parked that way? Because we got permission from the police chief. They were, I said, I'm Jess from WFRE, and they were doing our show here for In the Street. And he said, no, ma'am, that's not what this is about. Can I have your ID?
Ooh.
And I was like, sure, it's in the car. Is it okay if I go get it? He said, yeah, I went and got my ID. He ran it to make sure I was, I guess, not a felon. And then he came back to me and he said, the reason that all of this is happening is because one of the people who live right there called in a complaint because the bus had been running for hours and it was noisy. Yeah. And at this point, it's, 11 o'clock at night. And so the police came and they knocked on the door, and the artist himself opened the door of the bus, and the police said that they smelled marijuana and asked him if there was some, and he said yes. And they asked to go up on the bus, and he showed them the giant jar of marijuana that he had on the bus. And so they had no choice but to arrest him. And I'm like, wait, what? The record rep has literally just gotten on a plane. So I can't reach the record rep. I think the manager was with me, and we figured it out. And I drove the manager and the guys in the band over to where they needed to post the bond or whatever. The magistrate was on duty still at that point. Yeah. I find out later when the artist comes back to town for his court date, I find out that the magistrate was a big fan of Jess Wright on WFRE, and because the cops told him that I vouched for this artist, they let him go and said, you just have to come back for your court date. When he came back for his court date and there were sheriffs involved, some like deputies involved or something in getting him from wherever he needed to be to the courtroom, they were all like, we heard that Jess Wright vouches for you and we love Jess. Like he got away with the whole thing, no problem whatsoever, as long as it was a one time, don't let me catch you in this town with marijuana again, because the people involved were fans of our show.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't think.
I was like, if I knew I had that kind of power, I would be speeding everywhere.
Yeah, I don't think you can have that kind of celebrity anymore in local radio.
Well,
I don't.
It depends. I think there are a few markets left, and they're going to be small markets.
Yeah, let me take that back.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, I don't think you'd have to be a tiny market, a one-station market that actually had a live person at the station.
Yeah.
But I think general medium and larger market, I don't think it matters anymore. I don't think.
Now, if you're in a big city, nobody cares. Nobody's going to say, oh, you're Scott Shannon? Nobody gives a fuck.
Man, I worshipped Scott Shannon when I was a kid.
I will tell you, though, here still, Jess, if somebody, got pulled over right now, okay, going down the Golden Mile, he was going 55 into 35 and rolled down his window and he said, well, hey, good afternoon to you. I'm like, oh my God, and he'd get off. There's absolutely no question about it. Now, I don't think it's anything that, that other fuckbag that we worked with, I don't think he could get away
with. Is that based on longevity?
He hasn't been here a long time, but he's well enough known.
Right.
Okay. Right. And there's no reason not to.
Wait, who are you talking about? I thought you were talking about Tom.
No, I'm talking about, Tom Whale. I'm saying he could get off.
Yeah.
He could absolutely get off. I was saying the other fuckbags that we worked with.
Yeah.
They're lucky they could fucking program a VCR. But, to even, they wouldn't be able to get out of anything. Oh, I'm blah, 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 blah. Gives a fuck.
Yeah.
But I mean, somebody like Tom, your profile was very, very high.
Yeah.
Okay, because you made yourself very, very high.
But I think part of it is what I think a lot of that is what you brought to the table too. What you bring to the audience, what you offer up. Mm-hmm. If you're giving, just whatever it is you're giving part of yourself, you're giving your stories, you're giving information and weather and music, and you're giving all of this shit. People reciprocate.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of giving anymore.
True.
Exactly. I mean, the person that did mornings at FRE back when I worked there the first time, fucking calling bingo the other night. And people were still looking at him and going, hey, I heard you on the radio. Not for 20 years you haven't. But,
I have been gone for 10 years from that market, and people still come on my Facebook page and say, we miss you in Frederick. To me, the idea that they even remember my name in Frederick is absurd. It's absurd.
I'm still Facebook friends with several of our old listeners.
Yeah.
Who bring up the old show every once in a while. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Absolutely crazy.
By the way, today I submitted an entry to try and win another ACM award.
Very good.
I tried to win a CMA award this year, and I didn't get a nomination. So, or I guess that would have been last year because it's now 2023. But today I submitted an entry trying to win another ACM.
Well, I hope you can.
Me too. But it'll be an honor to be nominated.
It'll be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I was just reading, I got a message from somebody who listens to our show, a person who I used to work with. I'm going to call her Rhoda. I don't want to give her away her name. Rhoda Morgenstern.
Rhoda Morgenstern, okay.
Rhoda Morgenstern, Jesus Christ.
Going back a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
New York, this is your last chance. Okay.
She wrote me a note, and let me just open it. Basically, when I was working at a little station in Gardner, Massachusetts.
This is the one you told us about her before, right?
Yeah, she has another story. Listen, I was a rebel. I was a rabble rouser and a rebel on the radio. I just was. Yeah, I was. And so she wrote this. She said, "Do you remember the time?" And I'll just read real quick what she wrote. "Do you remember the time you were working at the station? There was not a baseball game going on. There was a party. It was a Friday night college party. And you called me and we did a live report from the party on the radio." Because I couldn't be there because I was working and I didn't. So that was a dawn to dusk station or something like that. So I think it shut down, or when it shut down at 11. It was done at 11, unless it was baseball. So they powered down at 11 o'clock. He turned it off. But she was at the party. I did that quite often. People were at a party and I couldn't be there, so I'd put them on the air and they'd give me reports about what was happening at the party. I was trying to youthen up the audience.
That's fantastic.
Back in the day, let me tell. Here's another thing that radio allowed for. I know that I said we wouldn't talk, that I would try not to talk a lot about radio when we're on. I think we all said that. I got laid so much because of radio.
Oh my God, the amount of getting laid at transmitter sites, for God's sakes.
Listen, my wife and I was doing a road show, where you go and you play a part, you have the station van and you bring the shit and you have all the records and the turntables and you're playing music for a party. Mm-hmm. I put on, I fucking will never forget this. We put on the Contours. Do you love me? When what movie was that? Was it from
Dirty Dancing?
Dirty Dancing, and it was like a 9-minute version or something, or 8-minute version or something. I threw that on. My wife and I jumped in the back of the roadshow van, and we fucked so hard for that song. 7 minutes, bam! I think it was about 7 minutes. Done, out, changed the record, all good. But just in general, being in radio early on, before I met Jody, even when I met Jody and I were like rabbits. We didn't care. At a road show, we'd do shit. She'd come to the radio all the time. That was something, dude, you can't do that anymore.
Oh, well, I assure you can, as I have within the past year. However,
with a partner, not with a stranger.
Well, no, this is with somebody I knew. I didn't hit a stranger. I mean, you know what? I think the stranger stuff ended when I was like 18. But
I never did the stranger thing.
I'm in a studio.
Well, not a stranger.
No, but just some strange.
I know a lot of dudes in radio who fucked listeners that they didn't know just because they got off on this feeling of power from their celebrity.
No. Yeah, no. But I have made sure I have christened every radio studio I've been in. Yes, Jess, every studio that I've been in. And do
I need to get tested now?
Oh, no. I didn't
just from being in that studio?
I didn't say what year it happened in that room. It might not have been during your tenure. It might have been during a previous time.
I told the story of road show sex.
And
road show.
How you feel about that, Jody?
It was wonderful then.
Good.
Then. That's when I could go 7 minutes.
So I'm in DC and I'm doing it's a Sunday night and I am just plowing this girl on the studio chair. And I'm like, oh God. And she's like, what? I'm like, shh. 97.1 Wash FM. Here's Lone Star. No! And then I turn off the mic and get back to it.
Same here. I've done the same shit.
My program director says, hey, I noticed you didn't talk a lot on the air last night. Was everything okay in there? I'm like, yeah, everything was fine. Okay, nothing technical? No, technically everything was just everything was fine. Okay, well, I just want to make sure you're okay.
Same here. Yeah. I did a lot of just ID only radio.
Uh-huh.
It was a lot of segues and a lot of 2 or 3 album tracks going on. Even though I don't like the fucking rock block weekend, I did a little pop blocks here and there. Oh, here's a cut you've never heard of from Taylor Dane.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's something you've never heard from Laura Branigan.
So I'm in the studio, and this place now that I went to, totally automated. Okay, and it was also in Frederick, and I'm there on the floor of the production room, but still hear the radio. So I got this girl on top of me, and then going, key 103.1. And she continued, she sang the jingle as she's jumping up and down on top of me. I'm like, what in the fuck world am I living in?
Yes. Yeah, being my most of my on-air antics, radio loving took place in my first two jobs, well before I met Jody, and there was a lot of sitting on Red Sox baseball. I missed a lot of let's break for 10 seconds for station
identification on the Red Sox radio network.
I missed a lot of those motherfuckers.
Harder. That's your idea.
I missed a lot of that shit. And I even one time, I did do an ID, opened it up, did the ID, and forgot to turn off the microphone.
Oh, we've all been there.
Oh.
Yes, there was some language that went over the radio, but it wasn't my voice. So no one really sort of knew what was going on. Like, what the fuck? But my buddy says to me later, says, I heard some shit while you were at the station. Like people were having sex or something. This girl was saying, yes, and just saying shit like sexy stuff and fuck me and weird shit. I said, oh, that's kind of strange. I don't know what happened. Because I'm not a real boisterous guy during that time. I don't make a lot of dirty talk. I'm not
during that time.
Like during the sexy time, I'm
right. I understand, but I'm listening to you, and it sounds like how Wilford Brimley would describe sex. Okay,
during that time,
Wilford Brimley's name comes up so often in this podcast. I kind of think we need to change the name of it to Wilford Brimley.
He was a fuck.
That's what you said. I know you said.
Yeah, I know. During your time there with Shannon Doherty on Our House.
Oh yeah, Sharon. She was just a kid though. I don't know. Actually, I don't know how old she was then.
Probably a kid.
But Deidre Hall was there.
Yeah, that's a hot one.
Deidre Hall was a hot looking woman. She sure shit was. She definitely was. All right, you guys.
All right.
What time is it? 7:10.
We still need people to rate and review us, and I don't know if it's happening and we just can't see it. But
yeah, and if you don't have a fucking Apple ID,
even if you're not an Apple person, you can get a free Apple ID just to help us out.
How do they do it? Let's go to Jess now. Jess, tell them how they do it.
Go to iTunes and sign up.
And it's free.
It's free. Yeah.
Just give yourself a little name and a password, and then rate us. Mm-hmm. And it's not what we're begging for it, but
no, we're
go ahead and do it. I'm going to go to iTunes, and when you see the rating from Skippy Boy 69XOXO, which will be the screen name that I will use, and it says these three fucking people with 5 stars.
By the way, I was on the iTunes. I did not rate us yet, so maybe I'll do that. Fucking iTunes is not an easy. At least I'm not having an easy time getting around on that website.
Gail can help you.
It's tough. It's very difficult for us senior folks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I just think it's not a really user friendly. There's really a lot of fucking. Is it not?
It's
Do you
not.
agree?
Even when I was trying to pull up our podcast in the iTunes app, it didn't say, "Hey, you're looking at the stuff that's on your computer."
Yeah.
I was like, well, then, you have to go to the store tab. Well, I didn't want to. Just find, if you can't find it on my computer, maybe look and see if there's something with that name in the store that I might be looking for. Apple.
Why can't they just have a tab that says podcasts and then you can type in cheese?
Yeah.
It's not that fucking simple. Like if you go to Spotify, you put cheese with, boom, pops right up.
You know what? I'm going to write a sternly worded letter.
Oh, another one of those.
Al Gore to fix this
at
shit.
Apple. It's hard for me to find the podcast that I am associated with. This is your friend, Mort Goldman. Go sit on a tech.
I am an award winner.
Yes, Jess has got it right behind. One of these times, maybe we'll do it. Not until I get my hair cut, though.
It's not currently right behind me. I have packed it.
You have a different award, but what is that one behind you now? That's not an award. What is that?
That?
The high priest, the high priestess of of Texas.
Of classic rock.
Texas rock. Look at you.
That's just
Did
a
you
T-shirt.
like working at classic rock?
I did. I loved working in classic rock.
I fucking hated it.
I loved it.
I only worked there for a
I
week
knew the
and a
words
half.
to all the songs.
Yeah,
There's
I
never
hated
any
it.
new songs.
Huh?
There's never any new songs.
No.
Only songs you know and love.
Hey, that's why I love.
Well, that's because those fuckers they're so burnt. They're such burnouts that
Yeah.
they can't remember words.
What were you
to
saying,
new
Chris?
songs.
I said that's why I like programming a classic hit station, because you said it, you forget it, you walk away.
Yep. You don't even have to, I don't know, I guess quarterly you freshen up well, I was going to say gold, but they're all gold. Quarterly you freshen up the library, maybe twice a year.
And now here's Golder Gold.
Classicer rock.
More dusty music from Dusty Springfield. Here you go. Now I love pop radio is my fucking wheelhouse. For sure. I like pop radio.
Once I got into country, I didn't like country when I
country
started
is
in it,
top
but once I
40.
got into it, I realized I wasn't ever going back.
It's top 40 with a twang.
Yeah.
I think we've said this before, but there is no fucking difference in how you program either one of those.
No, there's not a
formats.
difference in how you program them, but there is a difference in how the artists and the fans and the
Oh, sure.
radio people and even the record labels interact with one another.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's much more participatory.
Yeah, in country, we are all on the same level.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, that's it. There's superstars. I'm sure that if Kenny Chesney walked into a Walmart right now, he wouldn't be able to get anything done because those are his people. But
But if he walked in a Walmart in Tennessee, if he walked in a Walmart in Maine, no one would know who he was.
yeah, they would.
Or very few people.
Yeah, they would. Country is huge in the Northeast.
I don't know if it's as big as it is there. I mean,
I would venture to say it would be less likely in at least Nashville, unless you're in one that's close to where the tourists go, because people who live here don't care. Yeah.
I don't care. I'm a guy who I've never cared about somebody's star status.
No, which is why it's always so bizarre to me when, like when I was in Frederick and the waitresses would recognize me. And then if I'm at a restaurant and the whole meal, you can see the wait staff standing over in the corner looking at me, whispering to each other, or random other patrons in the restaurant who are stopping at my table while I'm trying to eat to tell me that whatever thing I said 8 months ago that resonated with them that I don't remember saying, they want to tell me how that's affected their life. I'm so grateful to people who are fans. And at the same time, I find it so bizarre because it would never occur to me to go to a celebrity who's sitting at a table eating dinner and tell them.
I think that's why. So it must be fucking tough as hell to be a Tom Hanks celebrity or a Howard Stern celebrity or somebody way up. And that's why those people, they're not the kind of people who approach somebody who's a celebrity, right? Mm-hmm. Celebrities know this fucking blows.
Yeah.
It blows. And there seems to be this, people think they have a right. Well, you're a celebrity and you have to give yourself up to me.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Leave those fucking, let
to be
the guy
fair,
eat his fucking steak.
I think a lot of people were looking at Jess saying, God, who's that asshole that Jess Wright is with? I think a lot of people were probably,
She can do a lot better than that, fuck.
You mean,
turns out they were right.
you mean as he's making sure that anybody who maybe didn't know who I was knew who I was?
That's correct.
Like that?
Now, was that him trying to game off your
Oh
celebrity?
my God. It was gross. It was gross. I was so uncomfortable with it. The first time he introduced me to his core group of friends, who are my friends now, the first time he brought me to, we went out to this place by the river, like this campground kind of place, and he introduced me just as Jess, and we were all just kind of getting to know each other, and then it got a little quiet for a second, and all of a sudden he went, "Tell him what you do. Tell him where you work. Tell him where you work." I
What a
glared at him
What a
so hard, and then
What a
I had to be like, I work for WFRE. Like, I'm not trying to be a celebrity in this moment. I was just trying to be a person.
Yeah, I think it's a tough gig to be a celebrity. It's a tough gig to be a celebrity.
Yeah. And at the very low level that I was at in terms of celebrity,
right?
The things that real celebrities have to deal with, I can't even fathom.
It must blow.
When I was with, I dated for a long time. I dated a radio guy who was a bigger celebrity than I ever was in the market, especially in Wichita. And it started in Texas. And we lived in this little house out in the country where you had to take like 8 different tiny little back roads to get to our house. And strangers would still pull up in our driveway. They would find our house and pull up in our driveway talking about, we heard he lived here and wanted to come by and say hi all the time.
That's
all the
scary
time.
shit.
Yeah.
That's scary shit.
Yeah.
That's like those stories you read about people who break into, big celebs' houses and shit.
The first time I ever came down to Nashville for Fanfare, CMA Music Fest, I brought a busload of listeners down from Maryland. And we were waiting for the shuttle to go back up to our hotel. And there was a couple of women there. And they were so excited. And they were like, we just found Kenny Chesney's house. And we walked right up to the front door and rang the doorbell. And I looked at this woman and I said, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And she was like, what? And I was like, you don't go to his house? You don't get to do that. If you see him downtown Nashville, you accost the hell out of him because that's why he's in downtown Nashville. Right. If you see him anywhere else, go ahead and ask him for an autograph. You don't show up at his house.
Right. I mean, don't they think, like, what would you fucking think if you're sitting at home, whatever this cunt's name is, you're sitting at home and some fucking couple randos show up, some couple rando guys show up, ringing your bell going, hey, we heard you lived here. We saw you working at the Kmart. We wanted to stop by.
Right?
You're hot. Wait, what the fuck? You don't do that to people. It's just fucking retarded. People get so retarded. They get sucked into this vortex. And the truth is, every celebrity I've ever met, and I met a fucking ton of them when I was working in LA, they're all just fucking regular people. Some are assholes. Some are cool.
Yeah.
Some become your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Some are desperate for friends.
Yeah. Who
don't want the celebrity part of their life to be any part of their friendship.
Do you know, it's funny.
I just want a friendship.
My one of my best friends, she was just here visiting. And when we first met, we met because she joined my Team Snarky to do the half marathons and raise money for St. Jude. And we didn't become, I don't think we were talking about it, and the timeline is a little fuzzy, but we didn't become friends right away because I was very closed off because I didn't, as far as I was concerned, because of my experience in Frederick, I didn't want people to think that they wanted to be my friend just because I could introduce them to somebody famous or get them concert tickets or whatever it is I could do for them, or that they wanted to somehow latch on to my fame to somehow elevate themselves. And so I was very, very picky about who I let in, including Shithead. Like I gave him several tests that he passed with flying colors because it turns out he knew what I was doing. But I was very picky about it. And one of the reasons that I let Vicky in to become one of my best friends eventually was because she was not impressed by me at all.
Yeah.
And so therefore she could be my friend.
That's why I think that's what attracted me to my wife.
That she wasn't impressed with you?
She thought I was a fucking moron.
Still isn't.
No, you got that right. She still is not impressed by me. No, she thought I was she thought I was, I think she thought I was a little bit amusing, but other than that, I don't think she gave a shit what I did. Yeah. No, she definitely did not give a shit what I did. She cared, more that I was, I think I was. Jode, was I a decent guy? Yeah, I was just a decent guy, I think.
Yeah.
And that was it. She didn't give a shit about it. And I was always, just like you, Jess, I was leery of people who wanted, they want to get concert tickets. They want this. They want that. They think I can get them some CDs. It was all about contacts and, maybe you can get me backstage. Oh, can you get, because once you become a program director, depending on the station, you have access to a lot of shit that regular radio people do not have access to.
Yep.
And I mean, Jody and I had trips to New York to see people and hang out and trips to here, trips to there. We had access to shit that you don't get. And then other people want that access.
Right.
Oh, I want to go to the show. Oh, you got tickets to go see James. Oh, you got tickets to go can you get me in? Fuck no.
Right.
You want to fucking get in? Go get a job at a radio station.
It's interesting. I became friends with someone in the last couple of years. Maybe it's been about a year and a half now. And she doesn't like country music at all, which is fine. I don't need my friends to like country music just because I work in it. But I had asked her if she wanted to go to some show with me, a little showcase at a winery. And she loves the winery. So she went with me. And she had a really good time. And she said, anytime you want a +1, I'm happy to come along with you. And I was like, okay, cool. So last year, like in the spring at some point, there was a country artist who was opening are we having a lozenge?
Chris sounds like he's eating bones.
Opening his crackers again?
I'm sorry, it's a cracker. I apologize. I'll go back on mute. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's funny as hell.
It's so good. These saltines, though, stick in my fucking throat.
I thought you were eating a human body.
Oh, my God.
So there was a country artist who was opening a coffee shop in this town about 45 minutes away where he lives. And he and another lesser-known country artist were going to be performing at this grand opening. And I texted her and I said, hey, do you want to go to this grand opening of this coffee shop with me in Eagleville? You know, Craig Campbell is going to be performing and this other artist named Jason Sturgeon, who's an old friend of mine, is going to perform. And she texted me back and said, well, since I don't drink coffee, I don't know where Eagleville is, and I despise country music, I'm going to have to pass. And I was like, oh, says the person asking to be my +1 for work things, which is always going to be in country music.
Right.
And she's like, well, no, but I do want to go, but there has to be alcohol so I can drown out the wail of the country music. Okay, listen, let me explain to you how the artist you're trying to drown out with alcohol is paying for that alcohol that you want to drink for free. So no, I'm not bringing. There's got to be a balance. I don't want you to be to be my friend to get free shit, but also I don't want you to shit on the people that are responsible for me having a job.
I think I've told you before. I think I've told you that Jody, not so much in the last 5 or 6 years, but the previous 20 plus years, Jody has had a very good friend named Garth Brooks. Mm-hmm. Jody and Garth have been friends for
I remember because from Fanfare.
No, Jody met him. Jody met him just on the street.
Oh, I thought you had told me that she met him at Fanfare.
No, she met him. No, she met him at his drive. She was in his neighborhood. Her and her sister were sitting in their car. He had come down to get his mail, and he saw them and said, hey, what are y'all doing here? And they were in Oklahoma, whatever he said. They said, oh, we're just on vacation. He said, oh, you want to come up to my house? And then a friendship started. And so, and Jody became his +1. She was his +1 she went to the ASCAP Awards with him. Like, that's just a private dinner.
Yeah.
And she's just gone to dinner with him, like lunch. She'd be up at the house. They'd be at the pool. And she'd go, oh, let's go grab some lunch. And her and him, he'd drive, they'd get in the fucking thing, and they go. And Jody said it was fucking disgusting how it was just her and him just having lunch, and people just would fucking swarm around.
Yeah.
And she said it's so it was really uncomfortable for him, but she said it was fucking scary.
Yeah.
It's intimidating. Mm-hmm. And you know, it you'd have to cut your lunch short. You have to get the fuck out. But you have to be as polite as possible. Oh yeah, okay, I'll sign. Because all you got to do one time is say "fuck you." You don't even have to say "fuck
Especially
you."
in this day and age where everybody's got a phone and everybody's going to.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're done. You're fucking done.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be some fucking TikTok whatever, fucking meme somewhere.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to eat lunch without some cocksucker breathing his nasty fucking haven't brushed my teeth in 4 days breath, over your fucking biscuits.
And it's like I said, you're so grateful for your fans, but can I have a minute?
Right.
Well, and how do you know he sucked a cock, Wally?
Yeah, well, he probably did suck a cock.
I just kind of curious as to how you knew. And the second part, I mean, I guess I can finally say this, Jess. One of the reasons that you and I've worked is because you've never impressed me. And I think that's a wonderful thing for you to have done.
That makes me feel good. Thanks, Chris.
The War Department's calling, so I guess I got to go.
All right, we got to go too.
Yeah. All right. But people, make sure you go to iTunes and do your thing.
Please rate us and review us because for some reason they're not showing up. And we need more.
Absolutely.
I know some who have, and they're not on there. So, blah, blah, blah.